Guys, welcome back. Today we're working on another old Hamilton Beach. This one is a Model C. This was sent in by Susan, and she wants a complete restoration on this. This one has had the cord replaced on it, so I'm assuming that I can go ahead and plug this in and nothing terrible is going to happen. Alright, well, as you can see, it does run. This is really rusted and pitted here, these beaters. I have to see what I can do to get those cleaned up here. And as is the turntable on here, it's got quite a bit of rust on it there. So we'll have to see what we can do about that too. Bearings seem good. Cast iron base on here. Bolt lever thing is a little tough to turn, but irregardless, that's all stuff that will get fixed during the restoration process. So I think the first thing I'm going to do is take the handle off, and then we'll take these brushes out and take a look at the brushes. Okay, the handle looks really good on this one, so aside from having, oh, okay, the taper has to be there. Yeah, the handle looks really good on this one. So that's always a bonus. Let's take a look at the brushes on here. Oh, almost lost that one. Okay, that brush is about halfway worn, so let's get new brushes in it. And that brush, I'm assuming, is the same, but it stayed inside there, so we'll get that out when we take it apart. Now, real quick, I'm going to open up the front here on it. And we'll take a look at the gearbox here. I'm sure the grease in this is probably terrible. But this is a pretty old mixer here. I believe this is late 30s, possibly early 40s. But I'm going to say, I'm sure somebody knows better than me, but I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to say late 30s. Alright, grease actually doesn't look terrible. Not as bad as I would have suspected it to look. It's oily. It's not all that solidified at all. That's pretty surprising. I don't know if maybe it had been changed out at some point. Because yeah, it definitely doesn't look as bad as I had thought that it would. And even in here, I mean, it's not solidified even down at the very bottom. You know, if somebody just swapped the grease out in here, they did a pretty good job. Clean the old grease out. But it's old enough to where, I mean, it would have to, it should be replaced anyways. Alright. You can see these rotate freely, though I do feel a bit of drag on them. It's really not too terrible. We'll clean this out later and get our set screws out so we can pull the shafts off there. Now, I think I'm going to go ahead and pull this off the stand and disconnect our cord. What I'll do is make sure you guys can see here. And this one is be made to look new. So we're going with original colors on it. Alright, so that will get aside to get powder coated. That's interesting. Cord replacement on here. I don't know what's underneath this tape. It'll be interesting to see here. I'm assuming it's just soldered and taped up. But I do have to get into this tape. And it seems to stick pretty well. And this is why I always have Band-Aids on hand. Wow. This tape is really on there. Alright, yeah, it looks like it was just soldered together there and had tape wrapped around it. So that's not terrible. Alright, I'm done playing around here with it though. I'm going to just cut it. Tape is just making me work too hard here. Alright, get our tape off the cord so I can pull the cord out. When I use this cord, since it is a new cord, so I just want to hack off as little as possible on it. Alright, so here's all of our wires, and I think, just for now, I'm going to throw this back on here so I can put it back on the stand. Just makes it easier to work on. You see how rusty that is there too. It definitely appears to have been around moisture or humidity of some kind. I gotta get a bit of the grease off my hands here. Can't hold on to anything, they're all oily. This is a pretty slick grease that's on here. I guess that must have been maintained at some point, which is cool. Always nice to see that. Alright, let's open her up a little bit more here. Alright, no surprises here. A lot of old flour buildup. We will have to get that bushing out of there. Clean that up good because this is all getting powder coated here. This, of course, we'll have to clean up. There's a lot of carbon on that, flour, etc. Alright, I think I learned from the last one I should probably wipe these threads down good and spray them with something before I even try to loosen these up. Especially when you got this much buildup in there. Alright, let me spray a little bit of something on it here, just to help them along. I this stuff here, I bought this to use for something else, but I see on there it says a penetrant and a lubricant. So I use it for different things. I wondered, being that, as thick as it is, how well it worked as a penetrant, and I had tried it, but I had nothing to compare it to. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard of Project Farm, the YouTube channel. He actually did a testing different penetrants, and that was one of them, and it failed miserably just because it doesn't penetrate. It does make a good lubricant, and it's really good. What I used it for was to keep some metal from rusting underneath the vehicle, and it works excellent for that, just because it does form a layer on there that stays on it. But it's a decent lubricant too, but it's definitely not a penetrant. So if you guys ever want to watch an interesting video, or any of his videos actually, go check out Project Farm on YouTube. He's got some really good videos where he tests a lot of different things on there. So if you're into fuels and oils and lubricants and stuff like that, you may find that interesting. Cleaners, decarboning, you guys may find that interesting. Yeah, see, these are still, even wiped down, sprayed down, they're still kind of stiff to get off of here. I mean, of course I could probably do a little better with a wrench, but right now I've got tools scattered all over the place between here and the garage. I'm working on some stuff out there, doing a little bit of work on the Pontiac, not a whole lot. Like I said, it's going to be wrapped up for the winter, but doing a little bit of work on it. And just got a Jeep out of here. It was a parts Jeep. I basically bought it for the axle, but I pulled the engine and transmission out. They've been in my garage in my way for over a year now, and it's been sitting here and wanting to be scrapped. I just had to get around to cutting the front axle out, so I finally got the front axle cut out, and I went to the scrap yard. So I have a little more yard now. Alright, so now with that out of the way, and do a little cleanup around here. As you can see, this is a pretty solid buildup. This crud does tend to solidify and will lock things into place. So we'll just try to cut through it here. And we can see about popping this loose. Although, it doesn't seem too keen on moving, does it? This stuff is pretty brittle too, and I don't want to pry on it or put any pressure on it there. So let's go ahead and get our armature out of here, and you can see that's going to have to be turned down and polished. There's a little bit of a lip on there. I think it's not in terrible shape though. Let's see if I can somehow gently finagle this out of here. I can't just unthread these because there's also a nut back here on top of the fuel coil that I can't get to, so I really do got to try to gently pop this off like that. If I get this side to pop the same way. There we go. Yeah, you got to be very gentle with these. If this breaks, you're going to have to find a whole donor machine to replace it with, and it's not the same in any of the other machines. I don't even think in the Model B, because Model B is so much smaller around. I don't think it would work. Alright, not at the end of my wires yet. What is holding this up? There we go. Just got hung up went in. Alright, you can see the way the wiring is attached to here. Each of these, one of these is off, but you know, 1, 2, and 3. This is your basically your power. Your current comes in through here, and it's going to go out one of these 3, which corresponds to different coils in here. So you know, basically your voltage is. Ooh, that ain't good. That's broken right off there. Your voltage is reduced at lower speeds on it, therefore less power. Which is why some of the earlier machines, you know, they're not really recommended to use a lot if you've got newer machines that you can use instead. I mean, even all the manufacturers went to a system where you had more power, or you had full power through your lower speeds. Okay, so I'm going to have a tough time getting that off. Let's see, will this one move? I'm going to have to scrounge up some wrenches, I think, or a wrench. Yeah, alright, time for me to find some wrenches. I ain't screwing around with this. I'll be right back. Okay, I got a wrench that fits on here. It's probably not the something 30 that it should be, but it's a 7mm and it works. Alright, so I can just loosen this up and I should be able to unthread this entire rod here, just like that. Alright, so now I get this out of the way and I can work on this other side here. Useless pieces of shit. Alright, I think that would have been much easier with a, if I could find my 9/32 deep well socket or wrench. Interestingly, this one has a little spacer sleeve on it, and this one doesn't, so I will probably end up just making another sleeve the same size for there, because I'm sure it was supposed to be on there. Like I said, this one's got a wire that's busted on it that I got to figure out what did that attach to, and I'm going to say probably went down here and attached to the cord, so it may not be busted. I'm going to say that went to one of the cord leads. So there was two other leads, and went to the back, and I believe there's an RF filter back there, but I'll know more once I get the coil out of here. We'll be able to see it better. But we'll have to check all these wires here and just replace whatever needs to be replaced. And for now, I think I'm in a position where I can pop these clips off the brush holders and get our coil out. And it's not going to come straight out, I don't believe, like yeah, not like all your other models where they come out real nice and easy. No. There we go. Just took a little oomph on it, but it actually did move, so that's good. There we go. Got the coil out, and yeah, you can see that little box in there. That's an RF filter, which we're going to pitch. Alright, so here's the coil. These look decent here. Coil's covered in, so I'll have to spray that down good. Yeah, this was the other lead. So I think we're going to extend this. We're going to replace this with a longer lead here. And that lead there we can extend just to make it easier to hook up, and if there's ever a cord change in the future, it'll be easier for somebody down the road. These will get all clean and polished up. This thing is filthy. We'll have to clean this whole coil down. Whole another can of that QD cleaner. Alright, now where am I at? This. Alright. Let me find my screwdriver that I just had. Where did I put it now? I swear I lose more stuff. There it is. Alright, so I'm going to take this screw off here that's basically got the chassis connection for that RF filter. I'm going to take that screw out. I'm going to pull this right out of there. And there it is. And the reason I pull these is because they do eventually fail, and this right here can leak current through the body and you can get zapped on it, and nobody wants to get zapped. Even if it's not a big one, man, a little one will make you jump sometimes. So let's see if our brush holders will come out. We may need a little warming up of the housing. Oh, this one's moving. This one, no. So we'll worry about, make sure you see here, we'll worry about this one here once we get the housing warmed up and everything expands. The metal will expand more than this, and I should be able to get that. And this one right here seems to have come just about all the way out, so I'll work on getting that out later. Do have a spring clip in there that has to come out, and I can show you guys that. It's right down there, so I just take this old knife I've been using because it's a little stronger than the hook that I have, the pick that I have, and once you pop it around the edge, that'll come out. And then I believe this had a felt wick on there, as well as being wrapped in this this string on there that I'll show you once I get it out. Okay, there may be a felt wick in there yet. So I thought it had both. Oh, let's probably make it so you guys can see in here. You see that right there is the felt wick. I'm trying to just work it up out of there. A lot of times when they get dry, they'll get brittle, and you don't want to rip it or break it. I mean, I can always make a new felt wick for it if need be, or if I get it out of here and it's in like terrible shape. But you still want to be careful with it anyways. It does not seem to want to come out of there very easily, though. Just want to drop right back in. Let me work on that, and I'll come back when I get it out. See, I shot the camera and it practically fell out. Alright, so there's the wick. And we'll probably just make a new one because you can see this is the rest of the wick. There's I'm going to call it string wrapped around there, and it goes through a channel right through the center of that bushing. So when this gets soaked with oil, it soaks it through there, and that's what keeps that lubricated. Of course, it's bone dry now. Alright, so on this, the only thing that's left on here is our little badge on here. So we'll just get this off. And we're going to get this thing cleaned up really good. And once it's cleaned up, we can go and just toss it in the oven for a little bit just to warm it up. Enough to expand the metal. And once that happens, those brush holders should come right out of there. I mean, it can't be baked in there at, like, curing temps with those in there, because those that bake light at curing temperatures will just start to char and get extremely brittle. So we definitely got to do it at lower temperatures, but the badge off, and we'll redo that too. Alright, so other than the brush holders, this is ready to go. Alright, so now I'm going to get all of my parts in one spot here instead of spread out everywhere. This cord I'm going to put over here, we're using that. Alright, let's work on the base here. You see there's a pin that goes right through here. Now, I know I said this probably isn't a very good penetrant, but I'm going to put a little on here because it's the only stuff that I've got right now. I go through lots of stuff in spray cans, whether it's penetrant or brake cleaner or whatever. I go through a lot of it. Alright, looks like it would go from this end. Oops. There we go. Alright, so get this out of the way, that'll just get polished up. We're going to pull this out. Being that this is already colored and that's colored, I'm just going to leave these in there. And this right here, move this the same way. Although, strange thing is, this is, you see, this gets powder coated right here. Alright, am I like zoomed in here? No. What the hell's going on? This is powder coated, this is just chrome plated. And you see how these fit. I mean, there's no, once you get it on all the way, there's no wiggle room. So I can't exactly powder coat this and powder coat this because, you know, you get about 4 mils on each piece. It'll probably go to about there and it won't go all the way back. So that'll of course throw everything off. So I'm going to have to figure out what to do with this here. And it's pretty crusty. Now we'll figure something out. But anyways, that's going to get heated up and slid off. And this comes off a lot easier than on any of the newer models. Models newer than this one, I should say. Alright, now I want to get this little knurled nut off here. And then the adjustment screw out. This just goes on and covers up your jam nut. You can see the jam nut right there. Which is usually not tight. But on this one is. So always be prepared for everything. Get off there. Yeah, this is all rusty too. Whoa, excuse me. We have to get this thing all cleaned up here. Rusty threads are no good. Alright, and that will just get cleaned up. And we got the bottom to deal with here. There's a screw missing here for the feet. So, I mean, I'm going to have to, I do have screws for those laying out, so I'm going to have to just replace that screw. And somehow I'm still missing a screwdriver. I'm sure it was one that I already had out for this job here. I could have walked in the kitchen to get a cup of coffee and had it in my hand and left it there too. Who knows? I can't even find the slot on here. There it is. These old feet, man, they get mushed up, and then they get into the groove where the screwdriver goes and solidifies in there sometimes, and you just can't get them out. Or can't get your screwdriver in there until you dig it all out. Oh, okay. So that one's stuck. This one's coming out. I think what happens is you got steel screws, cast iron base. The rust that's on the rest of this one, that leads me to believe that that's probably rusty in there. But I guess fortunately it's cast iron, so I can heat it up pretty good. And I should have no problem getting that screw out then. I'll even take it out there and heat it up with the flame. Get all the crap off of it, it'll burn off. And like I said, not very good penetrant, but that's all I got, so. put a little bit of that on there. I'll take the rest of this apart. I think we're just going to powder coat this whole bottom piece because it's rusted. So we just add that to the pile of stuff, get powder coated. Now this here is aluminum, so that's not rusted at all, but you can see on a cast iron base you do got rust buildup on here, and there's also debris and stuff that gets in there and hardens up. So, alright, so other than that screw, which I'm sure isn't. Oh, wait. Look at that. Maybe this stuff is better penetrant than I thought. I doubt it. I think I just loosened her up before. Alright, so this is ready for blasting and powder coating. So I'll set this out of the way. Also, this needs to be cleaned up, so I'm not going to put that out of the way yet. Oh, here we have got another bushing in here that's got to come out. So I might as well get that out quick. Man, can't even see the spring in there. Oh, I don't think there is one. Nope. This is the wick. All the way up here at the top. Where is the clip? Interesting. Oh wait, that's right, this one's different. Alright, so this had a wick at the top. The clip is way down inside there, the spring clip. Same deal, just further down in the hole. Alright, so we got this off, and there is somehow, I don't know how, but when they wrap this thing with the string, part of it ends up going up inside, you know, the tube here for that, and I usually have to take something and just drill that out of there, because like I said, this will end up getting a felt wick on it. The felt wick that came off of here is in terrible shape as well, so we'll do something about that. But anyways, I think we're all set, ready to go get everything cleaned up. Oh, other than this, I just got to pull these gears out of there and get the grease out of there and all that. And then we can go start getting everything sandblasted and powder coated. So once we get all that done, we'll come back. We'll get everything put back together. Alright, we got this Model C all wrapped up here. As you can see, it's looking pretty sharp in its new new finish here. It's you know, to match the original finish, which was, you know, pretty faded and crappy. You know, just due to age and all that. But yeah, it's done now. It's satin black base, and this is an RAL color. I believe it was 1015. We have chrome powder on the beaters, and this right here was actually brass, and these beaters were all rusty and everything, so we had to do something with them. Normally I won't put chrome powder on the beaters, but on these I had to, because they were just extremely rusty. And on the turntable and on the part under here, this is a silver polyester powder, and got the label cleaned up and stuff. But it's got new brushes in it, new cord. Or this, not new. It's a new cord, but it's a cord that somebody had put on it before we just reinstalled it, because it was a new cord. But anyways, yeah, this one's done. This one's wrapped up, and as you see, everything works the way it should on here. And let's go ahead and fire this up and see what it sounds like. At speed 1, it's such a low power, it takes a little while to wind up, but it does work. There's speed 2. And there's speed 3. Back to 2. Back to low. And then shut her off. So this thing runs incredibly well. I cannot believe how good this thing runs, considering the age of this machine. These Model Cs, I believe, are early 30s, early to mid 30s. So yeah, it's just, you know, incredible to see it run like that. But just a testament to the way that things used to be built, I guess, back in the day. But anyways, this one's a wrap. We're going to get it wiped down and get it on back to the owner. And if you guys have any questions or comments, leave them down below. I'll get to those as soon as I can. And as always, thanks for watching. We will see you on the next one.